What is up, everybody? You are not going to believe what is happening in 2024. I don't know if it's out just yet, but there is an article right now talking about how prisoners can get artificial intelligence injected into their mind so that they can do their prison sentence in not years, but minutes. So check it out. This is on NBC News. It says new prison concept could see inmates serve sentences in minutes. How they do that? What kind of technology are they doing? Right here it says the cognify method would see criminals hooked up to high-tech machines that implant artificial memories directly into their brains. This is like Ready Player One stuff, except in Ready Player One, you put the goggles on and you enter into the world, and it's because that artificial world is so much better than your poor existence of life, that life just got so terrible and mundane, and that you just entered into this world and you can be whatever you want to be. But now we're talking about artificial intelligence implants into your mind. It says inside the subject's mind, time would pass differently, slower than in real life, making them experience years worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. So have you ever fallen asleep and you're asleep for like a couple minutes? You just took a nap and you wake up and you're like, whoa, I just had this crazy dream. Like, man, it felt like it was forever. It was hours long. And then we were doing all this stuff. And somebody's like, man, you were just asleep for like 3 minutes. Because in your brain can just slow down time, and you can have all these crazy random thoughts. Thoughts can just enter your mind at the speed of light. Now technology has found a way to manipulate that and say, look, you want to serve your 30-year sentence in 30 minutes? Hey, you have that option. Do you just let us put artificial intelligence into your brain, and in 30 minutes, you'll be back on the streets. But it'll feel like you served 30 years. We have to keep talking about this. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. And it's tailored. There's like some kind of rehabilitation in there. During your sentence, you could be being trained on how to be a better person or something in your mind in this artificial intelligent world where it's only minutes going by. The complex, vivid, and lifelike memories are created in real life using AI-generated content. This is insanity. The concept is the brainchild of Dubai-based project lead Husham Al-Ghali, and it says a biotechnologist and science communicator. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify, I guess that's the name of the software, is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity of the type of artificial memories are then adjusted depending on the crime. So I don't know, are they going to give you like different forms of torture depending on your crime? Or maybe you're behind prison bars if it was really bad, but in other situations, maybe you're on a deserted island. I don't know what's going to be the cause of how bad your sentence is going to be. But then it says synthetic memories are customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. So this is where they're talking about, like, if you got real problems, you're going to go through rehabilitation inside this AI world. The artificial memories implanted by the Cognify would be seamlessly incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. So they're not going to be able to say, no, this isn't real. That's what they're talking about, cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when something, you hear a piece of information or see a piece of information that you just can't compute because there's no way this can be real. Like if you hear the earth is flat or something, you're like, no, cognitive dissonance. There's no way that's possible because it just isn't. This software says there's no way to fight this. You will believe that this is reality. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending 10 years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track habilitation through artificial memory implantation. It says artificial memories could cover a wide range of crimes, including domestic violence, hate crimes, discrimination, embezzlement, insider trading, theft, and fraud. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim and feeling their pain and suffering firsthand. So they're basically going to put you in some role play to where you're the victim. He's now experiencing the crime that he did on somebody else. Now he gets to, it's like give them a taste of their own medicine. Some memories are designed to trigger consequences and trauma, simulating a long-term consequence of violent actions such as the grief of the victim's family or the physical and emotional trauma endured by the victim. After therapy, it says in quotes, the subject is then released back into society to start a new life away from crimes. The cognify concept could revolutionize the criminal justice system by significantly reducing the need for long-term incarceration and its associated costs. By rehabilitating, so basically, overpopulation of prison cells and the cost of taxpayer dollars, this is where they're thinking that this could help. But what are the other negative implications of this? By rehabilitating the offenders more quickly, cognify could enable them to reintegrate into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. But they're talking about, okay, if you do this, then we could help not have overcrowded prisons. We wouldn't have to depend on taxpayer dollars. But what are the negative implications of this? Imagine some guy murders your wife or your husband, and he decides, you know what, I want to take my sentence in minutes instead of years. So he does the 30 minutes or whatever it is, even if it was a whole day. Imagine seeing that murderer who murdered your spouse on the streets the very next day. Okay, maybe it felt like 30 to 50 years to him. Maybe he's been really rehabilitated and he's a different person when he comes out of there, maybe. But what about the person, the victim? When they see the person literally walking on the streets like nothing happened the very next day, how crazy is that? But more importantly than that, maybe not more importantly, but another crazy thing to think about is they have the technology to do this. They have the technology to put artificial intelligence into your brain and make you believe that you are in another world for years when you've only been in there minutes. Think about the evil that can be used with this technology. Think about the evil that can be done with this type of technology, where maybe in the future, like Revelation talks about, where all those who keep the commandments of God will be punished, persecuted, put in prison. And now we are forced to feel like we've been spending years upon years being set on fire. And it just goes on forever and ever. Think about that. Because I believe that Satan is using this technology. I believe that Satan is trying to make a counterfeit heaven, a counterfeit paradise where people can enter into this world. They can put this stuff on, say, hey, you know what? My life is terrible. I don't have any friends. I don't have a spouse. I can't keep a good job. And they enter into this false reality where they can be whoever they want to be. If they feel like, if it's a man that feels like a woman, he can be an avatar that's a woman. He can be an animal if he wants to be. He can be whatever he wants to. And you can do whatever you want to do. This is what Disney has been propagating and training us up for years, where they say, I want to take you to a world where there's no rules. Peter Pan flew up to Wendy's window and he said, I want to take you to a world where the lost boys are, where there's no rules, there's no parents. It's always about no rules. The Bible talks about lawlessness. The lawless one will come, and that's the spirit of Antichrist, lawlessness. Imagine if they say, look, if we live in this artificial intelligent world, we can do whatever we want and you won't be hurting anyone else. You know, these people, these sick individuals who, I won't say the word, but they have an attraction to children, then they can act out that sick fantasy in their artificial intelligence world and no one will be hurt. Or, hey, you know what? You're a rapist. We'll put you in this world and you can do that as much as you want and you won't hurt anybody. This is lawlessness, the spirit of Antichrist, where people can just enter in to Satan's paradise and live their wickedest fantasies. And what kind of a world is that where we allow that to happen? Do you think a person that's in that world is ever going to receive Christ? Basically, their eternity is shut off at that point. They're never going to have Christ because they're never even going to be in a world where they can hear the witness or go to church or bump into somebody on the street that's going to give them the word of God. Because guess what? AI is a very biased technology. I've asked AI to make certain things and it will tell you it can't do it. I've actually, a friend of mine was trying to make thumbnails and he said, make a graphic showing a person walking away from the homosexual lifestyle. And it said, I'm sorry, I cannot make this image. This is hate speech. And then he said, make an image of a person embracing the homosexual lifestyle. And it created this beautiful image of somebody, coming out of the closet and embracing that lifestyle. It is a very biased technology. And it has controls on it that we can't overcome. So imagine if somebody enters into that world, you're not going to hear the gospel. You're not going to bump into a pastor in that world. No, all it's going to be is Babylon. It's going to be Sin City everywhere. It's going to be casinos, prostitution, whatever, your darkest desires. And so when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about living in a world where time goes by at a different rate, where minutes feel like years. And it made me think of the book of Revelation, where it says in Revelation 9:6, and it says, in those days, men will seek death and will not find it. They will desire to die and death will flee from them. I can't even imagine what that verse means. I've tried to think about that. And I can only imagine, that people they realize that they've rejected Christ and he's coming, and that's the worst thought in the world. But how can you literally escape death? I mean, anybody could kill themselves. The Bible talks about Saul falling upon his sword and killing himself. But what kind of situation is it where men will seek death and death will flee from them? Maybe it could be something like this type of technology. We're in 2024 and we're talking about implanting artificial intelligence, false memories into your brain to where minutes feel like years. This is insane, guys. I believe we're in the last days. More and more every day I see this world spinning out of control, utter chaos everywhere. I just wanted to share this information with you because I believe that Jesus is coming soon. I believe we need to get ready. You need to share this information with others because there's a lot of people out there that are just going to be blindsided. They don't even realize how bad the world really is. But this type of technology can be used for the most extreme wickedness. I can't even really imagine what this type of technology could be used for. I believe that these prisoners are going to be used as guinea pigs to see, does this technology work? And they're going to be tweaking it. How can we use this for our purposes? If you like this video, like it, please. A like goes a long way. It gets this video out into the algorithm. If you're not a subscriber, please click subscribe. There's going to be a lot more videos like this coming out each week. And I just love you. I ask for your support and ask that you would just take your relationship with Jesus seriously. I love you. God bless.